What's going on, guys? So today I finally felt like doing this video. I'm going to show you guys my secret Paladin build. Now this is basically like a conviction, zeal, spellcaster Paladin. I got some inspiration for this build from another build called the Trident build, and it's basically a spellcasting Paladin that uses conviction, and he would use Trangle's set also, which gives you some fire spells and things like that. So this is my Paladin right here, level 86 Optimus. So I'm just going to join up a game real quick and show you guys my character, show you the gear, the skills, and everything about it. So like I said, I got inspiration from another build to make this build, and I kind of just basically made it better. And how this character works is the Paladin uses conviction and zeal. Now I'll go into my skills in a second. I know you guys want to see the gear, and that is the big part. There are many different options for gear that I use, and I switch a lot of things around a lot. But as of right now, what I'm using the Destruction Phase Blade, which gives me a ton of spells to cast. It's very similar to my Frozen Orb Barbarian. I'm using a 2-socket helmet that gives me faster cast rate and faster run walk and some fire damage. I also forgot to mention, with this build I will be using Fist of Heavens also. So a mixture of Zeal and Fist of Heavens. And then I'm using High Lord's Amulet. And then I'm using a 45 resistance Phoenix Vortex Shield, Immortal King Boots, Raven Frost, Carrion Wind, so I can get some more spells to cast just to make my character look kind of cool, get some life stolen per hit in there. And I have the Spiderweb Sash, obviously for the skills and for the cast rate. And Drax, I like to have life tap just so I have better survivability. And then I have all Paladin combat skill, Grand Charms, and Annie, and a torch. And last but not least, the armor I'm using a bugged Tal's armor. Now this is probably a duped item. This item has a lot of history to it. If this is a legitimate bugged Tal's armor, it goes way back, like I can't even think, maybe 5 or 10 years back. But the reason why I'm using this is because I just like the $2 skills, resistances, and it's a really good piece of armor all around. But I just kind of threw it on this build to make him, look cool and stuff like that. But as a more legitimate way, I'm using Dragon as my main piece of equipment, and that is for more fire damage, and so I can cast more spells because I like casting spells. I think it's pretty cool. So I keep that there. Also, if I would like to cast Frozen Orbs, I use a Rift also. This is a rune word that's only available in Scepters and Pole Arms. So, yeah, it can be pretty effective. It has a level 21 Frozen Orb, which is very nice. But I really like using the Destruction for my spells. And another quite awkward item to use is Dragon Scale for this build. I also switch between this and Phoenix every now and then just to mess around. Phoenix gives 20% the fire skill damage. You could cast Hydra with it. Just all around a really good shield for fire damage. Now as far as my Mercenary goes, I did a lot of testing and things like that. The Mercenary doesn't matter too much. I have them using a Fortitude, Crown of Ages, and a Phoenix sword, Ethereal. So just to add on to some more fire damage there, it can do Firestorm and things like that. But there is a really good build that you could use with this, where you use an Act 5 it's where you use an Act 2 Mercenary, and then you make a Rift into a pole arm. And then your Act 2 Mercenary can cast Frozen Orbs, which is really fucking nice. And then you just throw a Night Wings on them and a Fortitude. So your your mercenary will be throwing out some boss ass fucking frozen orbs, man, with a rift on and a night wings. And it does so much damage because you're combining it with your conviction aura from your paladin. So going on to the skills here, I'll have to try and remember this a little bit, but I maxed out Fist of Heavens. I maxed out Holy Bolt so I can get more damage from Fist of Heavens. Looks like 1 point in the Holy Shield. I maxed out Holy Shock so I can get more Fist of Heavens damage. And the biggest skill is Conviction I maxed out. And that's about it there as far as my skills. And then as far as my stat points, get my Holy Shield, I put enough points to wear my strength, or enough points into strength to use my gear, and enough dex to get 75% chance to block with my Holy Shield casted. Then the rest of my points into vitality and energy, none. So let's just go out and see what kind of damage this character can do. I also have some other items like the Rising Sun Amulet, the Cast Meteors, but I really like my setup right now, so I stick with it. But we're just going to go out and I'm going to show you some gameplay of this build. So let me explain this real quick before I go and kill some monsters. So what I do is I keep Conviction up, and then first I start hitting them with Zeal, and then I cast Fist of Heavens. And then while Fist of Heavens is on its like 3-second cooldown, I go back to Zeal. So I go back and forth the whole time. So let's see how this works here. So as you guys can see, you know, pretty badass. But you know, with this build I like to have a decent amount of faster cast rate, and that comes from the spiderweb sash in this helmet here. So when I cast Fist of Heavens, it's not like super slow, you know. So as you can see, I mean, it works out pretty well, and it's one of those classes that's really fun to play. It's very similar to my Frozen Orb Barbarian, but this character is a lot more effective than the Frozen Orb Barbarian because this Paladin has a very high level conviction, and it's just a Paladin. He gets Zeal, Fist of Heavens, you know, he just has so many more advantages than the Frozen Orb Barbarian. So I've had this build for quite a while now. I made the Frozen Orb Barbarian after I made this build, but now I'm just going to join an 8-player game and show you guys how much damage it can do in an 8-player game, just so you guys aren't like, you know, oh, it's killing easy monsters. Dual game should be perfect because people don't leave. Oh, jeez. Guy has stone skin, so kind of had the Fist of Heavens him down. FOH him down. Ooh, Stones of Jordan sold the merchants. Maybe we can see if this character can do some declone. Well, I'm definitely stuck here because I'm getting mana burned. Damn it. So shit like that's just gonna happen with any character, guys. Go get my mark back and shit. You know, since I'm a Zeal Paladin, you know, you need to be able to do both. You can't just do one or the other. Because I need to cast Zeal to get my spells off. And when there's a monster that has stone skin, and when a monster has stone skin and fucking mana burn, I mean, I'm basically done. There's not shit I could do. It's just always when I'm doing a video, I get a monster that I can't fucking kill. Trying to make my video all badass and shit. These monsters had to fuck it up. Alright, let's do this one more time. You know, and when it comes to, you know, different types of builds, you know, you come across monsters that you're just gonna have trouble with. You know, the thing with Hammerdins and shit like that is, you know, they just have so many advantages and shit that they don't have to worry about stone skin monsters. And alright, now let's go back to the basics. See what we can do here. But like I say with most of these weird builds, guys, it's not like I'm just gonna be able to plow through monsters like Hammerdin. I mean, it's a melee Fist of Heaven's Paladin, you know? It's just the way it is. About to die again because I'm getting no fucking life tap. Another stone, another fucking stone skin dude. mean, there we go. I mean, he can do some damage and run around and kill shit. There were some bumps in the road there, but hey, shit happens. But you know, it's a pretty fun build to play. And you know, like I said, guys, it's not like I'm just gonna be plowing through shit all the time, you know, with these weird builds. And I think that's what a lot of people expect when they see a build. They're like, you know, they want this overpowered build and shit, but you know, with a build like this, you kind of got to work for it. You know, you got to use Zeal and use Fist of Heavens at the same time, and but it's a lot of fun to play. I mean, casting all these all these fucking volcanoes and Fist of Heavens and shit, I don't know. This looks really badass. I mean, it's definitely a class to play for fun and just to do something different. Nothing serious, you know? The thing is, like, a build like this doesn't do a lot of AoE damage, area effect damage. It's more like single target damage. Sure took me a long time to kill Shank with the all these people in here, with 8 people in here. But you know, that's at the max difficulty, guys. You know, especially for a weird build like this, I mean, to even be able to hold your own and kill monsters, I mean, it's still good, you know. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm probably going to show you guys another video of this build where I get my Act 2 Mercenary with Frozen Orb. I think the build would be a lot more effective if I was using that Mercenary. So I'm just going to, on the next video, go into more detail about you know, the Frozen Orb Mercenary and how it works well with this character. You know, I did a lot of testing and things like that with Act 5 Mercenary using Phoenix and shit. But as far as my gear, I'm pretty firm on what I use here. And, you know, maybe I should stick to Dragon a little bit since I got so much fire damage going on. But it's a very fun build to play, and I hope you guys enjoyed. You know, I hope you guys enjoy these types of builds because I love creating and coming up with new builds. It's something I really love to do in Diablo 2, and you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But you know, you're never gonna know unless you try, right? So, but thank you guys so much for watching. You know, new videos here every Monday, new Diablo 2 videos. You know, make sure you guys join our Discord. We have an Xtimus Discord. We're always helping out people on the Diablo 2 community. There's dozens of people, and I just want to shout all you guys out so much for helping the Diablo 2 community on my Discord, doing rushes and giving out items and things like that. You know, I'm very grateful for that, and I really enjoy having a place and a community here on Diablo 2. After all these years of, you know, playing with bots and things like that, it feels so good to actually have people to play with and have friends and have friends on here and people that are willing to help you out. And you know, it's really been awesome, guys. And I just want to thank everyone on my Discord very much for making this community. So well, that's it, guys. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys on my next video.